Welcome to Octane TV. Thank you for watching, and make sure you click that like button and please subscribe.
Hey everybody, this is Jeremy from Octane TV.
Dustin.
And I'm Brian.
Today we have Brian on the show today. He's a wonderful man. We're going to talk a little bit about him today.
Oh, thanks for inviting me, first of all.
So, kind of explain to us, what you do. Kind of just put us through a normal day, what you do at work.
Well, at work, I own some Meineke Car Care Center, so I'm in the automotive world. Aftermarket automotive repair. My day basically is to get up and have my cup of coffee. I don't do anything until I have my cup of coffee. I've decided I don't even try to make executive decisions until I have my coffee, and Joy knows that too. So start my day pretty much by 9 o'clock in the morning and go into my office and just kind of get an idea of where my day is going to go. And it's with 5 locations, it's hard to say any given day what I'm going to do for sure. So a lot of times I just go around and visit the stores and see what kind of trouble I can get into, really. So you got like a main location? So yeah, well, I've got 2 locations in Bloomington, Indiana, and then I have one in Plainfield, Indiana, one in Franklin, Indiana, and one on the north side of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, you got them all covered.
Yeah, I get around. Then my headquarters, my office is in Bloomington.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's fun. I enjoy it. Been doing it for 35 years, so I'm going to keep doing it as long as I enjoy it.
Now, what kind of services they do at Meineke? Because I don't think I've ever been to one.
Oh, well, so we do full service, everything from oil changes to engines. Pretty much all of it. There's not much that we can't do. I say we do pretty much everything but paint cars.
Good deal.
Really.
Good to know.
So, yeah. So, how are you guys doing today?
Not bad, man. Enjoying this last bit of halfway decent weather.
Yeah, before it gets freezing cold.
Well, I got to get one of the fun cars out today, so I'm happy about that.
I know she drove it. I was like, oh man.
We're going to fill into the crowd here what you drove today.
Well, so today I drove the CTSV wagon, fun car, Vengeance Racing built. It makes about 800 horsepower at the wheels. So it's a fun car, a little bit cool out, so the tires don't want to stick too well tonight, so you got to be a little careful.
What tires are you running?
Just running some Continental Extreme Performance right now. They do okay, they're Extreme Contact Sport or something like that. They're pretty good.
Actually, I know quite a bit about those.
Yeah, but it's still cool out, so
Yeah. Doing the same thing.
Yeah, we just gotta be a little careful. Stay out of the ditches.
Now, how heavy is that car?
Oh man, it weighs a bunch. I don't know exactly. I've never had it weighed, but I'm thinking probably pushes close to 5,000.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah. Well, with the stereo equipment, all the equipment that you put in there. Oh, but that does help the traction though.
Yeah, that's true. Never thought about that too.
It still gets down pretty good for a heavy car.
Yeah.
Because we had that audio equipment in there when you were at the half mile, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
we did.
Just finished it up actually. Yeah.
What did you run the half mile with that car?
Like 164. Yeah.
In a wagon.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Right? It's not bad for a 5,000 pound grocery getter.
With stereo equipment all in the back. That's so crazy.
Man. Well, you got to jam when you're running a half mile, brother.
And comfortable on top of that, I'm sure.
Heck yeah, man. And that's with the passenger, So.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did have a passenger.
I had a passenger and all my stuff in the back. I didn't unload it or anything. It had groceries in the back. Yeah.
So I'm not really familiar with that platform, man. So you want to kind of explain to me, what's all in this car?
Well, so this one's it's a 6.2 liter LSA. This one's had the heads, cam, supercharger's been ported, throttle body, pulleys, intake, all the supporting mods, headers. It's all, like I said, it's been done by Vengeance Racing. Got all the supporting components on there as well. It's been done well. But 6.2 liter LSA. It's on ethanol. It runs. It's actually flex fuel, so it'll run on, 93, or it'll run on ethanol. Tonight it's running on 93. First time I've driven it really with a full tank of 93, and it's running really well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That car sounds amazing, man. When it starts up, I'll see if I can find some clips and show them. But man, it's nasty.
it's a fun car, really. I have a good time with it, and it's probably my quietest car though. Really.
Hard,
I know.
Besides the truck.
Yeah, well, the truck. Well, actually, I've got some duals on that one.
Oh,
now. I got Borla Attack on that one now, so it makes some noise. Yeah.
Good deal.
So you're definitely gonna have to tell us about your cars and all the cars that you've got.
Yeah,
So
man.
everybody knows, because I don't think a lot of people know about your cars.
Well, there's one thing that most of my cars have in common, I can say. Anybody have an idea what that
I already
is?
know what one
Chevy
of
or
them is.
GM?
Well, definitely. There's two things in that we have in common. There's Chevy, General Motors, Cadillac, but they're black except for one, silver. All of them are black. So
Yep.
yeah.
I've only seen 2 of your cars, so
Yep. So every one of them except for one of my Z28s is black, and that one's silver. So, but
And you got 2 of those.
I do. I have a
black
black.
and
I do
silver.
have a black one because I needed to have one to drive.
Yep.
And so I got the black one to drive and build, and then the silver one is a collector. It's a pretty rare car. So
yeah. As I say, I think I've only seen one, and that was at the I think it was a Cars and Coffee at the Speedway.
yeah.
a black
The black
one.
one? Okay.
Yeah, well, the Z28 is pretty rare, but the silver is the really rare one anyway. They made 79 silver cars in 2 years
No kidding.
out of a total of 1,801 cars, and then this one being a 2014, they only made 29 silver cars.
Oh, good.
So
That's insane.
yeah, so I get out and drive it every once in a while, but the black one, it gets driven. So that's the fun. That's the dragon car.
Yep.
yeah.
That's what I always refer to it as, because of the graphics.
Yeah, yeah. So-
Okay, so I have
And then you've got, I know of the ProCharge Z06.
Yep. Got a C6 Z06 Pro charged, and that one's black, of course. It's got a
6-speed car too, right?
It's a 6-speed manual, face-plated transmission, and it has it's got a 416 stroker in it, all forged and billet, and Pro Charger. That one makes a little over 1,100 at the wheel, and pretty lightweight car. So
300 pounds probably.
yeah, somewhere around there. I haven't weighed it either, but it's a full interior car, so it's not even really set up for the track or anything. It's just a street car. But I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it. Either take it a step farther, or am I going to just
I feel like it's
step
a
it down a
scary
little
car,
bit.
man, to have that kind of power. Because I've been in one that had about 750 wheel,
Yeah.
and that was scary enough.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they sit so low to the ground too, man. I just
It pulls pretty hard. It's definitely a fun car. It's one of my favorites.
Don't doubt it.
I saw it before you owned it, and the guy was next to me when I had the green Camaro for the videos that you're watching now, and he hit it on the interstate, and it was lightly drizzling, and it literally went 2 lanes over. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I got it out a little bit in the rain once, and that was a mistake. I stayed on the road, but it was like on ice skates, man. It was
With those
bad.
tires that are on it now?
Yeah, with the
Oh,
tires that
man.
are on it now.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
I'd be
345 drag slicks,
Yeah, I would definitely be
or
scared.
street slicks. So, yeah, it was more than hydroplaning for sure. But yeah, it's a great car. I'm hoping to get it back out on the road next year more, and get it to some of the shows and stuff, and a couple other cars. I got a lot of maintenance to do this year. A lot of maintenance. Got a clutch in that one, and maybe the ZL1 may get a little bit of an upgrade too.
I forgot about that car even too. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's
Forgot about that one, too.
That's kind of how it all got started for me here in my recent years. Is the ZL1 1LE that I bought, and ended up having Vengeance build that one as well. And amazingly, it's got 50,000 miles on the build that they did for me, and
That's
it's
awesome.
Yeah.
That's how I first saw you.
Yep.
Multiple videos I got. I have to still post those up.
Yep. I've seen some of them up there when I was watching for the Streetcar Takeover thing, but
Because I got to see it Streetcar Takeover, but I didn't know you then.
Right.
And then right after that, I got to see it Clean Culture.
yeah.
That's when I first got to see your car close up, and I was like, man, that car is nice.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
a lot of nice Camaros that were there.
It's probably probably my favorite car, really, all over. It's just a all over good car to drive. It's fun to drive. It's fast enough, and and it's on 93, making 850 plus wheel horsepower.
That's
so
insane.
yeah,
It is.
yeah, and still get 20 miles to the gallon on the highway
That's what's so awesome.
with
That
air
is-
conditioning on. Isn't it great nowadays? I mean, like back in the day when I'd build cars, it was like 5 miles to the gallon, 6 miles to the gallon, and I'm not pushing near as much power as we are now.
Right.
Now it's 400 horsepower back then, and it was pretty fast.
Now you're doubling that, getting better gas mileage.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah,
And it's dependable.
and dependable. That's right. I'm not working on it every week.
We can drive into Texas.
Yeah, yeah, and we did.
And you got good gas mileage. I think you got, what, 25?
Well, in the blackwing, I got
Yeah.
24.7.
I think I almost got like 27, 30
maybe
on
my
the
best
E50.
was like 25, but
Yeah. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, I mean, because we, full disclosure here, we typically do the speed limit. So when we do the speed limit, we get good fuel mileage. Huh?
That's a whole episode in itself of us going to TX2K, because every exit, Brian would beat me by 5 minutes. He'd already have his gas, go to the bathroom, get his drink, and he'd be waiting outside for me.
There's a couple times. I know one time, literally, I stopped in and got gas.
Yep.
Went to the bathroom and everything, and I was coming out on the exit back on the highway as he was coming up next to me. And it was just like a pit stop. I mean, got right next to him. That's craziness.
We stopped a lot because we're old. We have to pee a lot.
Yeah. Well,
Do you remember? I'm trying to remember this. Do you remember when we were coming back? We stopped at that gas station and we ate that food at that gas station. Do you remember that?
You talking about the one with that girl that was in there? That
yeah.
was...
we got like mashed potatoes and gravy or something.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Man, that was so weird. I think we were in Louisiana. I can't remember where we were. That was a crazy trip. That was a crazy trip.
It was a lot of fun. That was my first time down there.
Because he got to go to FL2K with me, Dustin did, and I felt so bad because I told him, I was like, if you would have got to go to TX2K, it was a totally different experience than what FL2K was, because we paid to be in VIP on every event, and it was really organizing. But when we went to FL2K, 3 or 4 times a night, we were getting kicked out by the cops. Like, we didn't get one time where we actually.
That's what I heard. So it wasn't the same experience you had the year before, right?
It was just the nightlife, man. It was, and it's a shame too, man, because it definitely, I seen a lot of potential, especially that last one we went to, or the
gas station.
Yeah, it was. I was so ecstatic when I seen it, and I don't think we even parked.
No, we didn't even get in the entrance.
Yeah, and next thing you know, they're shutting it down, and it's crazy because like here in Indy, we're over here revving and popping and being obnoxious, and we don't really get bugged too bad. But dude, it was pretty calm there. I felt like
nobody's doing anything stupid.
So you can tell that was zero tolerance there. But
there's probably about 150 cars in that gas station.
The funniest thing though, I think of, man, is the guy that was playing the music when the cops are there. And
he's playing Bad Boys. They had the helicopters, all the cops in there, and he's playing Bad Boys. That was so funny.
Yeah, well, Texas 2K, that was awesome. I mean, that was insane.
Gas station we were at the last night.
Oh yeah, we pulled in and like literally we were like 3 of us. We had 3 cars with us, and there was maybe 1 or 2 other cars in the parking lot. And within like 20 minutes, you couldn't park a car in the parking lot of the gas station.
And they're filling up the other gas station across the road.
And across the street. It was ridiculous, but it was cool.
It was quality cars. Like all the cars that pulled in there.
Yeah, nobody was being dumb either. Everybody was being respectful, and that's what we really want in the community here, is just to have a good, places to go, hang out, and not have people ruin it. So that's what I'm trying to work on. Just trying to.
Same for us.
Try to get things cleaned up and do some fun stuff.
I feel like a lot of people are on the same page, at least from who I've talked to. Like I said, I've only been in this stuff for just a little over a year, and this is all new to me. And it's crazy how far I've came along, because I was doing burnouts, and I was one of those. I wasn't doing spins and stuff like that, doing intersection stuff, not by any means. But I was burning through a set of tires like quick, just because I got my new car. I want to show it off. But I've learned so much over that time that it's I bring my kids to every one of these beats, man, and we just gotta I want a safe place for my kids, because what I love the most about this is my dad always told me about the cars. I grew up playing video games of the cars, and now I get to go see all these cars now, and I want my kids to experience what I wanted to as a kid. And what's the great part is that my fiance and my kids all love it. Not a lot of people can say that, because I know it's not a lot of people bring their family, but my fiance wants to be there, my kids want to be there, and that's the best part. But if it's not safe, I can't bring them, Yeah.
I think for the most part, it really should be a family event, and if you have a family that really gets into it, that's awesome, because it just makes it easier to do your hobby, and you go out and do it safely, and and I always like to see the kids running around, in their little cars and stuff like that, getting all excited about the cars and stuff. So that's what we need to do, is just keep the whole car culture going, but the clean car culture, that's the safe way of doing it, so that I would much rather have my kid spending money on cars than out there doing something they shouldn't be doing.
Dude, this is very constructive, man, and you know, I grew up being a gamer, man, and my biggest regret with all that is now that I'm in the cars, I realize that, man, I got wasted my time with all that crap, dude. I mean, dude, I'm loving every bit of this, man.
Well, you know, and I've told my son the same thing. You're wasting your time in there, but it didn't do any good. You know, he still stayed in there and played games, but I did get him interested in cars, so
that's good, man, because I always try to tell people now, you know, you level up in your video games, man, but now you can level up your life, you know?
I like that.
I mean, seriously, though, because, honestly, it's really what it is, man. And, you know, there's a certain person that let me drive their Cobra. Was it the 67 Cobra? The two-seater?
Yeah.
You know, that was a childhood car of mine. God, I love that car.
Everybody like to drive one of those.
Yep. And, I finally got to drive that car and, you know, appreciate it for letting me drive that. Because I'll tell you what, man, that's the holy grail of my cars, man.
So, you know, I've never driven one myself, but hey, if you're watching this, John, I know you have one. And I'll be hitting you up. I got to drive the Kronos or whatever, but I didn't get to drive the Cobra. So I'm going to be hitting you up here soon, buddy.
Well, since we're name dropping now, I mean, he also let me drive his 458 Italia. And like I said, man, the nicest car I ever drove is my car. And then I got to drive a GT500, then a 458, and then, like I said, the Cobra, and then I got to drive your M4. You know what I mean? So I'm stepping up, man.
Heck yeah, man.
It's kind of cool.
You did a good time at the track too, man.
Yeah, Jeremy let me drive his BMW for the first time on the quarter mile at Muncie, and I think I ran a 12.3 on it.
Yeah.
On winter tires.
Yeah.
You know, and then
taking off slow.
Yeah, and I'm, you know, because his turbo comes in way different than mine. But
we didn't want to break nothing, and we didn't want to wreck.
No, but even on my second run, I think I got it down to like 12.7 or like a 12.6.
I can't remember what.
Yeah, I did a lot better launch. I still feel like, after 2 runs, I didn't feel like it was bad. I was still running better. I think it was 11.6. Yeah, because I remember I was real close to mine.
You got it down to 11.3, and then you got it down. I think you got like 11.3 at 126. You did a pretty good job.
Yeah, because I think I was
3, 126.
Yeah.
Which I know there's still room for improvement because I ran 11.4 out there. The year before I ran 11.2, and those are on street tires. So I know for a fact his car is quicker than mine. So I think your car is probably a high 10-second car if you drive it right.
Yeah, I mean we trapped almost 131 that one time.
Yeah,
so
that's
I mean
good.
I know it should do pretty good, but the problem was I was terrified. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was scared. Like if I make one wrong move, I'm gonna be in that
right. But we do that on the street. It's the same thing. Dude. I feel so much more comfortable, man. And it's weird that when I get up to that line to go race, like my heart is racing, it's pounding.
Oh,
I
me too.
don't get that on the street, but it's not because I'm scared. I'm like, it's almost like excitement. It's like it's really weird, man. It's adrenaline rush.
Both.
It's adrenaline rush. Yeah.
And,
but it's safe, you know.
Yeah.
And have you ever done the half mile?
No.
You have to try the half mile.
Yeah.
It'd be embarrassing though on a car like mine though. I'm only 590 wheel, man.
No, it's not embarrassing because
a stock Camaro.
there's people out there running things you wouldn't imagine.
Well, I'm concerned. I mean, I know that next bit will come pretty quick, but I mean, if I'm trapping 124, I think was my best trap speed on a quarter. I mean, am I gonna hit my 160? Because I'm topping out my car at 160.
Well, no, you know, it's so the thing about the half mile people don't realize is that you get to that first quarter mile.
Yeah, that next comes quick.
And people think that it's going to be
double.
You know,
It's
double.
not.
Or
It's not.
But it's not. It's really hard to get that speed after the quarter mile.
Yep.
You know. So,
well, especially my car, because I fall off.
But you know, the thing about it is, it doesn't really matter if you go 160 or you go 150 or 120 if you have a good time.
Right.
And the thing about it out there is you're not racing against the guy next to you, really. You're running against miles per hour, and it's a lot of fun. Like Dylan, he took his little WRX out there and ran like 120 and a half mile.
Yep.
But he had a blast. He just kept going and going and going. You know, so and you still try to beat your miles per hour, right? So it's cool. First time I did it, it was kind of addicting, actually.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting out there this next year. Yeah, so this half mile stuff is a lot of fun, man. My son really enjoyed it. You got to get out and try it sometime.
Where's it at?
So it's up in Marion.
Okay.
Marion Airstrip.
Is that the one we went to?
Airport.
Yep. The Air Attack?
Yep.
Yeah.
Airstrip Attack. That's what it is.
Airstrip Attack. Yep. Yes. Shift Sector puts it on. And it's a lot of fun. Yeah, you gotta go do it. I'm playing this next year.
I was just worried about going out there. I've seen all the Lambos, like twin turbo running, like they were trapping like in like mid 200s, weren't they?
Oh well,
yeah.
But those guys are building cars to go out there and run.
Oh, absolutely.
They're competing. That's what they're doing. You know, it's like you're just going out to have fun. It's a cool thing to do. You can get out there, run your car. You're on TV, live TV, which is cool. they'll call out your name, show your car, and it's just like, hey, you know what?
Yep.
You get, for just a minute, you get to feel like you're in the big leagues, right?
That's awesome, man.
Even if you are riding a mini bike and doing 30 miles an hour.
So what's do we know when the next event? Do they have one scheduled yet? Or are you gonna release that soon?
It's
think
typically in
they're
August.
releasing,
Yeah, it's in August sometime. I don't have the exact dates, but
Okay.
yeah. I
I'll
can
do
And
something
this year
to-
they had it 3 days instead of 2 days. So maybe they'll do that again this year. They'll have
Yeah.
it 3 days again
That's
instead
good.
of 2 days.
Yeah, because I need to find something different anyway. Because I mean, my highlight's always been the Midwest Summerfest, just because it's the first time I've ever been to a track. So going out and running now, I kind of feel like we need to take the next level.
Yeah, it's just different stuff. You just kind of got to mix it up and figure out what you like the most. But I really enjoyed the half mile. Quarter mile's fun. Half mile is just different.
Yep.
You don't have to feel like you're as pressured, and you don't have to worry about busting something off the line.
It seems like it's a lot wider too. I mean,
Yeah, you got plenty of room.
Yeah, a lot more forgiveness, man.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even on at Muncie, I mean, when you're getting out of the line, it's just
All of it sets in, man. I
Yeah.
swear.
Yeah, well, that's just a couple blacktop strips out in the middle of the cornfield,
Yep.
basically. So not a bad place. Just saying, it's not the same thing as going out on the tarmac. It's taken care of so well because planes are landing and taking off
true.
and stuff there. So
Very
it's,
true.
It's a difference between riding on a new highway or going down one of the city streets here.
Yep.
So you're obviously gonna have to tell Dustin a little bit about this CT5V blackwing.
Oh,
Yeah,
the blackwing.
well,
Yeah.
I finally got to see it,
He finally-
but I haven't got to see too much of it.
He doesn't
so-
know much about it.
No,
either.
and I'm
Oh, it's a fun car. Yeah. It's
car-
my daily driver, basically. Fair weather daily driver. I guess I drive it in the rain, too.
I think it's amazing.
I had it in the snow the other day, but I didn't have any on the road, thank God, because I don't think I could have got anywhere with it. This has got the Pilot Sport 4S's on it. But
That's what I'm running too.
yeah, so it's a 2023 Blackwing, CT5V Blackwing. So it's got the LT4 6.2 liter supercharged.
That's the same thing coming in the new Corvettes, right? Or is it LT? I know the LT motors are
so the
they're
LT
not push
They're
rod
like
anymore, right?
ZL1s.
Well, the LT4 is like in the ZL1s,
Okay.
right? And it was in the Z06 prior to then the C7
Okay.
generation
Yep.
Z06. Now
But
the
Blackwing's
new ones,
a little better.
yeah,
It's got a little more power.
the Blackwing, it says it makes 668 crank, but I've been seeing people dyno and getting like 610 out of wheel. So
And
I don't.
now is that naturally aspirated or supercharged?
It's supercharged.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, they're supercharged, and mine's stock right now, but we'll see how long it stays. I don't know.
And they didn't have a whole lot of stuff out for those cars because they were so new with the 10-speed
And they're 4-door too, right?
and they're 4-door. But now there's guys out there breaking records with those cars.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they're really doing some really good numbers with them. So.
Yeah.
So are these the Cadillac? They still continuing that line? They're not going to give up on it, are they?
Well, so 2024 is the last year for it, is from everything that I've read about it. So,
All right.
Kind of like the Camaro.
yeah,
I just feel like that's such a good line. I mean, my fiance loves the CTS line. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I didn't find out there were 4 doors too, and I didn't realize they had that option besides the wagons.
Well, it really kind of started off with my grandson, really, because I actually had a Z06 ordered, the C8 Z06, and I decided not to get the Z06 because my grandson can ride in the back of the Cadillac, but not going to be able to take him on trips or
Right.
anything in the C8 at this point in his life. So I can take the Cadillac and I can take vacations, whatever, throw my luggage in the back next to those really nice
Oh, I forgot about
subs
that,
and
too.
system you put in, and made it really nice to and still
Forgot
usable.
about that too.
And then put the car seat in the back seat, and everybody can be comfortable, and we can go on a trip. And I still get my therapy, so I still get to drive one of the fun cars on vacation.
A car is just like the instrument panel, the infotainment system, the sunroof, the seats. Like that car, for the money, it's well worth it.
Oh, it's a blast. It was funny when we went to Texas 2K because Jeremy took his Supra down there.
Yep.
And he's like, man, it's going to be a long drive in this Supra. And I said, not going to be bad in the Cadillac, man. So I could set the cruise control on, I didn't say 150, maybe I did. And I could have me a cup of coffee, turn the massaging seats on, maybe listen to some classical music and cruise. And when I got there, I was great. I didn't have any problems or anything.
Yeah, racing seats that massage your back.
Well,
all the way down there.
they're nice for Caro seats for sure.
That's thing. That's so
Yeah.
nice.
And they're heated and cooled and
The color of them
massage.
is really cool. How they did the white and the red, like that looks awesome.
Oh yeah, the red stitching. And yeah, I was wondering if I'd like that because all my cars mostly are just black on black, and I wasn't sure if I'd like that really light.
I didn't
interior.
either because I hate light interior too because of my kids. But when I got in your car, I'm like,
yeah, I don't think I'd want it any other way.
Yeah,
now.
it looks clean.
'cause it just,
What color was the interior of the one that we saw down there? Remember we saw another one at Buc-ee's. What color was his interior?
His interior was black on black.
Black on black,
the car
that's
was
what I
white, but the interior was black.
black, yep.
Yeah, and
It looks
just
plain.
Looks plain.
Yep.
Yeah. Mine is just it pops. So
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Now, you know, when we left PRI, we thought we seen your car. As soon as we got in there was another blackwing there.
Oh,
Sitting
really?
in the parking garage right by our car, and I was like, "That's got to be Brian's. That's got to be Brian's." And I looked in the
plates.
interior, and I saw the interior was black. It
Well,
looked just like yours.
You might be able to tell by the big Krazlyf on the
the
side
stickers,
too.
which we need to get into that too.
That should be something you should have probably noticed
Yep.
before you got to the interior. But
So
maybe I
explain
need to
to-
talk to my graphics guy about that.
Yeah, make them brighter.
Brighter. Well, you do drive like bright cars, and I.
This is
drive
the first
black
one.
cars, so.
I got a red one now.
I know. What's up with that? I thought it'd
We'll
be
see
green.
how long it stays red.
That's kind of what I figured too. That for somebody that doesn't like the color green, you're.
I know I
You
hate
know.
green, and I wrap all my cars that color. It's so weird, but I like that green for some weird reason. I like that particular green.
A lot of people like that green. So
I know,
Really,
and that's why I like it because nobody really complimented the car. They always like the color. Every single person. So I'll probably end up doing something different.
so you could we should have just kept your Prius
I know.
and just put green wrap on it, and you wouldn't have had to spend all that money on that M4.
I know.
It's a good time to tell everybody what your plans are for your BMW.
No, they're not really plans. They're just hopes and aspirations. At this point, it's like,
Is it gonna be
inflation's
green?
killing
Hopes
me,
and
bro.
aspirations, like hopes and naturally aspirations.
Usually when I tell people
natural
my
aspirations.
plans, they're always 100% concrete because everybody knows, okay, when Jeremy says he's doing something. But this time it's like, man, the bills, the amount of money it costs, like I'm holding off for a little while because it's just too expensive.
Our hobby is not cheap.
No,
No, not at all.
I haven't even got invested in anything yet, man. I bought my car the way it is today. The only thing I've done is put a bumper on it and tires.
Well, somebody else invested in it for you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So sometimes that's good.
And I feel
because
like
you,
I got a good deal, man.
you get
Really
if
do.
you could get a good deal, you're generally not going to spend the same money buying something as you are going to building it. I mean, it's fun to build them too, but that's a little less expensive way to get into it usually, as long as it's a good build.
Yeah, well, I felt like it was. I mean, it was done, by Ford, and they did, it is a Roush car on a GT base model. It's the only downfall, man. When I got this car, I wish I would have known now that it's just, I have cloth seats. I got the calculator radio.
we didn't even go bring up that calculator.
No.
Calculator radio, yeah.
I mean, it's terrible, man. I don't understand it. But like I said, other than that, I'm fine with it because I've got kids. They're gonna tear up the seats anyway, so it is what it is. The having this much power and running, like the stock suspension. I mean, that's for the base model GT, and then same thing, stock brakes. I mean, I feel like when they did that work, they should at least upgraded that because I feel like it's kind of pushing it to its max. You know? But
At least you got the 6R rating.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing too. So when we bought that car, I came from a '92 Fox body, and it was a stick car, and I was the biggest thing to try to overcome was me looking at an automatic and going, I'm getting a sports car, and it's an automatic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was killing me. And then after learning all this, everybody's like, well, you made a good choice, and it's like, well, did I? What I mean? I miss shifting gears, dude. I truly do.
I'm the same way. I've got manual cars and some automatics, and everybody asks me, well, why did you get the A10 and the blackwing and not the manual? Because the big deal was it's a manual option in a sedan with 668 horsepower, and why didn't you do that? And I'm like, well, I wanted a car that's a little more comfortable to drive. I can just get in it, put it in gear, and go. But you know what? Since I got that A10, that thing is that A10's amazing. It shifts so fast that it's amazing how much it makes up for the speed and the quickness of that car.
Right.
And you don't have to bang gears while you're driving out of state or going to places. Like, it's just so nice to be able to have that option.
It is,
And you got paddle shifters.
Yeah.
Well, that was actually what I was getting ready to touch on there is that the big thing is like when I get that little, God, I wish I could shift. I mean, at least I've got that, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not the same, but at least I can.
The paddle shifters in the blackwing, I mean, it's quick. It's just a lot of fun, yeah.
Well, it's the complete opposite on mine. It's like more of a shift select. It's not.
Well, I'd have to say my wagon, it's an automatic too, and it's a 6-speed, and it doesn't shift nothing like the A10.
Really?
No.
Not at all. And in fact, that one I'm better off when I'm running it like hard. I just put it in drive and
Just
nail it and go.
Yeah.
And it shifts better on its own.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
It works okay, but it's just it's just not as smooth, not as crisp, and doesn't shift as fast.
Right.
Right. So, but I like, just for a driving car, I'd much rather drive a stick shift car.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is literally, I think, my second car that I've had that isn't a stick.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Four of mine are manuals.
Right.
And, I wouldn't trade that platform on those cars for an automatic.
And the technology of the newer automatics is absolutely amazing. Like, better gas mileage, faster. I mean, that's why all the guys that are running Supras and Hellcats and BMWs, they all buy the automatic transmissions, because in those platforms, like in BMW, if you buy a manual, it's less horsepower.
Yeah.
They detune it, and it's worth nothing because the manuals are considered base models, so they're the lowest of the low on the totem pole and the lowest on resale value.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they're just phasing them out. Now, opposite on Supras, super weird is that the Supras, if you buy a manual, they're worth more.
So same way with the Camaros, like with the ZL1s.
Yeah.
The automatic is not worth as much.
Isn't that weird?
You pay more for it.
Yep.
But as far as the resale value and the demand, people want the 6-speed. They want that, that 60/60 trans, because they shift like butter. Man.
That's a good trans.
It is a good transmission. They hold a lot of power too.
Definitely the opposite of the MT82 thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, I finally.
Transmission's a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, I did get to witness the rev match. Because there's a lot of stuff, I said, I'm new to, like the DCTs. I didn't realize that was a thing until I finally got to driving Jose's GT500, man. And actually that same day, like I said, I drove that 458, and, I didn't realize when you go how they engage like that, man. Yeah. And I'm like, man, that's actually my next move. Granted, it's out of my price range for now, but, at least that's a goal, you know what I mean? Because, honestly, I've always thought, when I heard the GT500's out an automatic, I'm like, what?
Yeah,
insane, man.
I'm kind of like, they should have a manual option.
Right.
That's just...
Yeah, they didn't even release a manual option.
They don't even have a...
Which is odd, because the previous GT500 was all manual.
Yeah.
Right, so just the opposite.
It's so weird.
The blackwing's got it's got rev match too, and automatic, but the rev match on the ZL1 manual is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's crazy how much better. The other Z28s, I got a heel toe and all that kind of stuff, and I drive a lot of corners and stuff. Go down to the Dragon, and it really is nice having that rev match.
And speaking of crazy,
you're
gonna have to tell us a little bit about that.
Krazlyf, yeah. That's my fun brand, I guess you could say now. So kind of started with the ZL1 really, because I had the ZL1 and named it KrazLY1. I don't know why, I just did. Named it KrazLY1, and then I got the Z06, and when I got the Z06, I had the same Instagram, and I'm like, well, how am I going to have a KrazLY1 Instagram with two different cars?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how am I going to do this? So I ended up coming up with the Krazlyf, which is KRAZLYF, and that way I can incorporate all of my cars in the one Instagram.
That's good.
And just build the one.
How'd you come up with that?
Well, that's a good question. People think I drive a little crazy sometimes, and I thought I don't want it to say Krazlyf like KRAZY. This is normal, right? I wanted it to be something different. And so that's why I put the KRAZ together with the LYF. It's something different. And then, I took it a step farther than that, and I actually had my logo. I made a logo and then had it trademarked. So I actually own that name.
Nice. That's good.
For my branding.
Yeah.
And I just decided to make that a kind of my lifestyle on when it comes to my hobby, my cars, because really that is kind of my lifestyle. I just didn't put a name to it. I've always been, I've always had I've been an adrenaline junkie. I've always wanted to go fast and do things and kind of just, I don't know, cheat death maybe, but however you want to say it. But the truth is I've always done those things, and, I've lived on the edge a lot when it comes to fast cars and things like that. So, not that I'm encouraging this, so any of you kids that are watching this right now, do not listen to me. Do not try this at home. I've got many of years of experience of doing these bad things. So,
kind of an expert.
Kind of an expert at that, yeah. But so I really just wanted to build this brand to have fun, right, and the lifestyle. Well, then it's kind of evolved into now, I'm getting ready to I've launched my website officially, and
awesome.
I'm going to be distributing performance parts and things like that. And I don't know, if young kids might call it being an influencer. So try to get my Instagram, built up and everything, so that I can, have that brand strong enough that I can go out and have, other companies, manufacturers that won't allow me to distribute parts for them.
So they can find you on Instagram with just the Crazy Life?
Crazy Life on Instagram, yep, sure can. And also on Facebook. You can go to Crazy Life on Facebook, and then crazylife.com will be launching. So it's just right now in the kind of the rough stages, but there are, I'm going to have my cars on there and some other information. And
have any merchandise for sale?
I will have. I've got some stuff on there now that I'm just kind of working with. I am a Roto Fab distributor, so for intakes for, GM, mostly GM stuff. There's some other stuff that's on there, some of the Dodges and things, but I'm trying to work on that, kind of get that part of the business going. And what I want to do really is I want to be able to generate revenue. And I want to be able to help people in the community too. Right. So I want to take, a portion of my revenue and, donate it to, some organizations. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet exactly. So that's still kind of in the infant stages, but something we're definitely working on doing. I figured if I can have fun and help people in the community and maybe be a good influence on some of the younger guys, it's getting into the car scene,
Give a little back, man.
Give a little back, and I've always wanted to do that anyway. So, and we do it through our other businesses, but this is just kind of a hobby. So I want to make it fun and also helpful.
Yeah. Because we did that. I did that my first event. It was a benefit, and we raised quite a bit of money. That's a good feeling, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. When you're like, especially for the first time. That event was my friend. And kind of went through some crap, and I think we ended up raising like almost $1,000. You know what I mean? Yeah. And great. That's not going to help out too much on his medical, but it's something. You know what I mean?
$1,000 is a lot of money to if you don't have it, $1,000 is a lot of money.
Going from working every day of your life, just all of a sudden, you can't work at all anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you got all the medical debt to come with it. So it's a good feeling, man. You know what I mean? And we had fun doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, I've been pretty blessed in my life. I've worked hard, but I've been pretty blessed, and I just want to, I'm fortunate to be in a position where I can help. Yeah. And this just gives me another way to do that, and have fun, have fun doing it at the same time. And, just started kind of building this brand, and that kind of started as a competition with my son, actually. My Instagram. I was like, he said, "So, Dad," he said, "you're old, you don't have any followers on Instagram. You got like 300 followers," and I'm like, that's probably because it's everybody that knows me at that point, or that's on Instagram that I know. And so he made this bet that, this was like in June, he made a bet that by Super Bowl Sunday, that I bet him I'd have 3,000 followers. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "There's no way. You're old. You're not going to have 3,000 followers. It's not going to happen." I said, "Well, what are we going to do then?" He's like, so the bet was that whoever won, the other person got to choose, or that the winner got to choose for the other person what color of toenails paint, that the other person gets to wear. And to make the short story a little longer, I hit my 3,000. And he had to wear hot pink toenails. So,
Did you make him wear open shoes, though?
Oh, of course. You got to be able to see them. I tried as much as I could, and it was pretty exciting for a minute. And so then he just kept on, bugging me about it. And I was like, so I made it a competition then at that point. And I think 2 years later, I went from 300 to like 185,000.
No kidding. Awesome, dude.
So it's just really, I'm a competitive person, and that's really how it got started. And I thought, well, how can I utilize my, socials to try to help get back and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So you got any plans going for 2024? Got any new cars, maybe? Or
I don't know about any new cars, but I have some things I'm, trying to get done to some of the cars I have. Yeah. And some upgrades, and then just some general maintenance that I'd like to get done. And as we've got a lot of events coming up for next year that we're going to be part of. Crazy Life's going to be part of several events next year.
Hopefully get to see some of these new cars, because like I said, I've only got to see 2 of them so far.
Well, I'm hoping that when the weather breaks, I can get them all out. I want to do a shoot with all of them at the same time.
That'd be awesome.
Yep.
And kind of do something. Maybe I'll have party or something, we'll get together and then, have a shoot or something like that.
That'd be cool.
One of the warehouses or something in Bloomington or something like that. Set up and do something like that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this year coming up in 2024. I think it's going to be, 2023 was a good year for the car scene.
Yes.
I think it's going to be even better in 2024. The culture's starting to change.
Yeah.
The people that don't want to be involved in the clean part of the culture of the car culture they're kind of moving off on their own, which is good. Separating themselves from people that want to do it the right way, and and that's good.
Well, it's proof too that it can still be, because we went to plenty of events that shows that it can still happen. We went to the Tom Wood Aviation, I think that's what it was, and I think there was over 1,000, probably pushing close to 2.
Yeah.
And I know they were getting to the point where they couldn't get any more people in, and that was a huge event, man. And it was perfect, and like I told you guys before, that the suds, I go to the suds almost every Saturday, when it's open, and it's calm, and it's been going on for so long.
Yeah.
It shows it can be done, and unfortunately it's a lot of the older generation, and you got the new kids coming in there now, and they're already starting to rev in their engines, and they get dirty looks.
Wait a minute, what about the older generation? Is something wrong with that?
No, it's you got to think,
You said
man, they're smarter. Well, I'm saying
It means unfortunately the younger guys, they just don't
ruin it. It's really what it is, because once they get to that point where they can't, they're not gonna bring these cars out anymore, and then all we have is the new generation. It's gonna turn into the same crap that's going on everywhere else.
Yeah, well, they need to come to things like suds so that some of that experience can rub off.
To wear off them,
yeah, for sure.
Because the biggest problem that we're concerned with is if this continues in the path that it is with this destructive stuff that these kids are doing, it's going to run a lot of the older guys out, because the older guys are going to want to be like, hey man, I don't want to be around that stuff no more. We saw that happen multiple times last year, especially when we were at Hooters a couple times, and it's just sad to see great cars sitting there and people doing dumb stuff right around it.
It doesn't take many people to start acting like that, and then it just becomes infectious. And especially with young kids, because they don't think 2 steps ahead.
Honestly, that most recent one, watching that SUV doing donuts in reverse,
flipped over on that's
and from what I understand, some people died, and this person that's driving that car, not only did you ruin their lives and the people around them, now you're going to be spending probably the rest of your life, if not portion of your life, in jail. Over being stupid.
Exactly. You can have fun and be safe.
But come on, it's an SUV, first of all. And you're in reverse. There's forklifts. Have you seen how they turn like that? So it's not very. If you had any common sense, you would realize that this probably isn't going to end well.
Well, there you go. You said common sense. It's not so common anymore.
It's actually a rarity.
That's the sad part.
But as long as we're here trying to get it, we're really trying to do something for the community. So anybody out there that's in the car scene, we got events going on. Jeremy's got events going on over here. Dustin, check them out, man. Really do some really cool events and keep it safe. Have fun,
Because we can't do it without you guys.
That's exactly right.
It takes everybody. And like I said, I know for a fact that there's a lot of people on board with us. It's just we gotta not just talk about it, we got to do it, and you guys got to make it there.
And we're stronger united. If we'd all come together and help each other and help the car community, we're stronger united than we are divided.
Yeah, because we got to think too, man. I've noticed FL2K, man. You see how you can get a bunch of guys together. Fortunately, the police don't like it, but it shows that it can come together and it can be good. And here, I feel like it has been good, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I think hopefully I'll see people turning around and kind of doing some good things this year, man. Well,
I think if people come and see an event run properly and safe and have a good time, they can realize that you don't have to go out and act like a fool to have a good time. There's still going to be people that aren't because they want to do that, and that's fine. They can go do it in a field somewhere else, Right. But we just gotta if one person changes their ways and start doing something better, then somebody else will follow that one person, and then it becomes kind of like the domino effect, and it's but you have to start somewhere. Right? They always have to start somewhere.
I think 2024 is going to be one of the best years so far. I really do. I think it'll be one of the best years.
Fingers crossed, man.
Yep.
I feel like it will be. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm going to be part of and everything, and I'm looking forward to it. And I really think 2024 is going to be good for the car scene. And
me too.
I know a lot of younger guys that are kind of getting into the car scene, and I think a lot of it's got to do with the influence that some of the good events have had.
Yep.
Your events and some of the other events that's going on with the.
It's nice to see everything coming back, because after 2007, it was a downfall. No more events, no more car events after we hit through that. So it's nice to see everything come back and people starting to do good things again.
Yep, 100%.
I truly think everything. It's all about getting the younger kids, like
Yes.
like kids under preteen. Getting them out there and getting them to enjoy cars. I mean, it's great to see my 8-year-old son call out cars, like what they are and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
we
especially
did that by headlights back in the day. Now I don't know if you could do it by headlights.
Absolutely. We were driving in Franklin, and there was a car in front of us, and my son's like, "Dad, is that a Jaguar?" I'm like, "Dude, that looks like an. It's definitely not it's not a Jaguar. There's no way." And getting closer to it, it was a Jaguar.
Yeah.
So he can call him out better than I can, man.
Well, you got to start him young. And my grandson has he just got his first truck, one of the little Power Wheels, a Hummer. Right. He's already got his Crazy Life decals on it. His little license plate that says Crazy E. His name's Everett. Yep. So loved it. Walked up to it, got in it, and of course he's only 18 months old, so it's got a remote, so I could drive him around.
Right.
I had it in fast mode and took off, and he was like, "Oh man!" And then he looked at me like this, and I slowed it down, and he looked at me like this, and I was like, "I think he wants to go
that.
fast."
Yeah, it's like you like that, didn't you?
Put it back in fast mode. I was like, "We'll be doing donuts before long." I had to get him started off in a Chevy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was important.
Awesome.
Sorry, sitting between two other guys. I've got a.
I'm not
Ford
anti-Chevy
guy
by
here,
any
I've got
means,
a-
man.
I'm everything. I drive everything.
That's the number one thing I like about Fords, though, man, is that everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of people hate them. And I've got a couple buddies that I've known since I was a kid, and they give me a hard time all the time. I mean, all the time. But what's the best part, man, is I'm not going to say no names, but he's never really cared for Fords very much. And I took him out in the Fox body, and we had the top down, and I looked over, and he did a selfie. He is not a person that does selfies, and I busted him.
You just explained not my childhood, but when I was growing up, that was like the Fox body convertible, the whole Vanilla Ice thing, all that kind of stuff was going on, and the 5.0 was a really popular car back then. He made it really popular back then.
Yeah, man.
But I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm a Chevy guy, but I like cars in general, and I feel like that it doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. If you like it, doesn't matter
all
what
that
mods
matters,
you have on it. None of that matters. There's too many people that are like, they're dogging on people for the cars they drive, and half of them are walking. It's like you don't even have a car, and you're dogging on this young kid that's built his Honda or Subaru or Camaro or whatever it is the way that he or she wants it. And I think just give them kudos for doing it, number one. And they take pride in it, and it doesn't matter what we think about the car.
Absolutely,
It's a matter of what you think about it, and if you enjoy it, and even if it is green, and purple.
Freaking Shrek driving around.
Hey, look, I'd have to say that there's one thing about Fords that the Henry Ford had said. You can have the car in any color you want as long as it's black.
Right.
And I have to agree with that.
Well, I can tell you, what color my car is under that purple?
It's black.
It's black.
Yes.
And I tell you what, like, it's crossed my mind a couple of times, man, to pull it off, but I take that wrap off that car, it's just another Mustang,
Just
man.
another Mustang, I know, and you get a lot of attention with that purple, and
Every
honestly, I like it,
Yeah.
and I like the green too. I mean, I don't like the normal lavender purples and stuff, and I don't like green a whole lot, but I do like that alien green or whatever it is, and that purple that just looks really cool.
Yeah.
Well, the purple, man, I didn't like it at first. Like, I really didn't. I didn't get that car because of it. I mean, I seen it was. Well, I can't say that. It stood out, and I went to go look at it, and they popped the hood, and I was like, it's got a supercharger. And it's a 17, and it had 17,000 miles on it, and then they had a 18, it was a stick car, and they wanted almost the same price for it, and without the supercharger. And I'm like, okay, that's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Yeah.
And then we opened the door, and it was automatic. I'm like, okay. All right, so I had to talk to her, and she's like, I can't drive a stick.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so
man,
that's actually pretty good.
so I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And they let us take it home for the weekend, and I got it for the whole weekend.
When you
VIP.
do that, they knew how to sell that thing. It's like, if you don't want to buy it, don't drive it.
Yep.
Right?
Well, what's crazy, they were like, well, it only gets about 12 miles a gallon. And I'm like, oh God, this is
Not
great.
with me driving. It's
Well-
more like 6.
Well, no. This is where it gets better. So I drove it and I came back and I'm like, guys, I'm getting like 19 out of this. And they're like, how did you get 19 out of it? I'm like, and I was kind of rough with it, man. I'm like, there's a couple, I mean, I wasn't easy on it. I was test driving this car.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're dogging it, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that thing any lower than 15. You know what I mean? It's got 315 gears though. I mean, it's an auto car, you know what I mean? And I do them in short bursts. I'm not, hard all the time. I mean, okay, that's a lie. I'm not gonna lie to everybody. I'm hard on that car. I'm really hard on that car. I beat the crap out of it, man. And it takes every bit of it. I broke a pulley. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty good because I went from July 4th weekend of 2022, and they had 17,000 miles, and I now have almost 65,000 on it.
Yeah.
I'll put a lot of miles.
You know
on it.
what? That's great. You drive your cars. That's how I love to drive my cars. I got a 23 blackwing. It's going to be pushing 30,000 miles here real soon.
Jesus.
And my ZL1's
He's gonna
close
be
to
out of warranty the
100K.
first year.
I got a Z28 with almost 100K on it, but I drive it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is what's good does a car do if it sits? Now I know they have collectible cars. I got the Z28 that's kind of a collectible. It's got like 6,000 miles on it or something. But if you're driving a car or buying a car to drive it, and you enjoy driving it, then drive it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's just a Mustang. I mean, the thing is, there's nothing special about my car, man. Yeah. And it's really just opening the door to the next level for me, man. That's not my end game. I mean, I planned on doing like the fuel system and pulley down, put headers on it, but I don't even know if I'm even going to do that now, man. I kind of just want to do the whole show thing, man. There's always going to be somebody out there faster than you.
I think trade it for a Chevy.
I don't know, man. Like, dude, the thing is, like, I do like the Camaros, man. But I mean, didn't they just make the last Camaro, right?
24s last year.
24, yeah.
And honestly, man, I'd rather get a Cadillac. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've always liked Cadillacs. The
I was really
CTSV,
torn between buying his car and my car, but his car's 40,000 more.
right? The CTSV, man, the one with the real sharp rear end.
Yeah.
Oh
like
yeah,
the
the
coupe?
V3.
Yeah.
The coupe. You're
Yeah.
talking about the V.
Talking about the V2 coupe.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because my
Two-door?
fiance loves that. Yeah,
I found
and
one for $29,000 yesterday.
I'd have to get rid of the car just to get one of those,
It's
just for
750
that special
horsepower.
somebody. She loves that car. Man.
It's just, it's almost Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem is I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be completely upside down putting that kind of miles on my car.
Well,
I'll be lucky to get,
that's
what,
the problem.
26 for that, maybe?
I don't buy cars to sell them, unfortunately. I've never sold one. So I don't really think about the resale value as
He just
much.
buys more garages.
I just have run out of room, but that's fun stuff to just, I don't worry about that.
I like my car because it's a Ford and people hate Ford, and then they hate it even more because it's got a Roush in it. You know what I mean? And that's why I want to.
And it's purple.
And it's purple, and that's kind of why I want to build it up, man. Because a lot of the guys are just like they'll pop the hood and they're like, it's a Roush. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I want to build it up. So if I do beat somebody,
nasty, man.
well, they can, but we all know what the problems they have with the heat soak and stuff. But I feel like all that can be kind of.
right.
I can probably fix it.
It doesn't matter what platform it is. There's something that they all have something going on.
LT4s, they always talk trash about them on the stock floors for having heat soak too.
Only on the Corvettes, but not on the Camaros.
I know. It's weird how they all just talk trash about. No matter what you got, they're gonna talk trash about it. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, being a Ford guy, I'm used to it, man. I mean, seriously.
Well, I mean,
I got thick skin, man. I got you Ford, man.
he's got some good shoes on. Good thing.
No New Balances on.
No New Balances, but at least you got good walking shoes.
Yeah. More pushing shoes. Is what they call them.
See, that's the thing, though, man. Like every Ford that I've owned, I've always had the greatest luck with, man. And I've owned 2 Chevys too, and they were similar years. They were both 92s. They're pickup trucks, and I both had the same lifter issue on mine. It wasn't enough to steer me away from it. You know what I mean? It was an older, like I said, it was a 92 Silverado on the Jeep. Yep.
Yeah, 5.7s.
Both the same, like I said, the same issue.
I had lifter problems with mine too.
And it wasn't like I didn't drive it different. It was just that tick, 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 tick. You know
Yeah.
what I mean,
Yeah.
nothing crazy. It was an 8th cylinder. It was always that same one, and I knew how to fix it. I mean, quick, take the valve cover off, tighten it down, be on your way. You know what I mean? But honestly, like I said, it never steered me away from those cars, man. But I've had my multiple Fox bodies. I've actually had 3 of them. 2 of them only seen the road though. Great luck with them. One of them had idle surge issues, but it was actually my fault on that one because I literally had we swapped it from a 93 to that one to my 91. it would drive great, but it would start to idle surge real bad. And after tons of like just trying to figure out what it was, never could get it sorted out. Sold it, and then I was just laying in bed one day and realized that I never upgraded the fuel pump. You know, the stock power on the stock, I think, stock crank horsepower was only like 225 on those cars, and I was about 400.
Yeah.
On the
That
stock
poor fuel
pump.
pump was probably starving for life.
I think that's what it was. You know what I mean?
You
had 24-pound injectors and stuff like that. You know, we upgraded. I mean, granted, like I said, even with that car, with all the upgrades I did to it, it's still, you know, minivans could beat it.
Well, you know, it's you know, I've owned lots of Fords in the past, and to be honest with you, I mean, it's just a preference thing.
Yeah.
But I have to say, if it weren't for Fords, I wouldn't be able to own the Chevys that I own.
Yeah.
You know, being in the auto repair business, you know, Fords have really helped me out.
I knew it was going somewhere.
I'm really not saying this to offend any of you Ford owners, because honestly, I like all cars. I just like to give these guys, especially Dustin, a hard time. It's just one of them things, you know.
And
And if you own a Ford, you understand, and Chevy guys understand as well. We have to hear that too. I'm coming from the Ford guys.
But you know, when I actually went to one event, and I've actually heard this so much now, and it kind of makes me smile a little bit. But I mean, my car can handle quite a bit of horsepower stock. Correct?
Oh yeah.
Whereas like the old, you know, LS motors, you have to build them up, correct? I mean, you can't. I mean, the stock block can't.
Depending on what it is.
And I've had a couple Chevy guys tell me, like, look, man, you know, all bullshit aside, you know what I mean? You should, you know, you got a good car.
It's a great platform on the Gen 2, Gen 3.
So I mean, in the end, when they're all cutting the bull crap, you know what I mean? They've flat out told you, like, dude, you got a good car, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's just jokes, you know, it's what it is.
Well, all these newer cars, man, they're all really good in their own great way, unless you own an MT82. That's really the only, that's the only bad side to any car.
Well, it seems like the guys that have them don't seem to. They're like, it's like almost like the Android guys, you know, they know they have it bad, but they won't admit it.
It's like a poor handicap. I feel so bad for people. It's like, what did you run out the track? Well, I got all this power and I ran a 12.6. It's like, well, what? Like, but a 10-speed car will go out there and run like an 11 flat. And I'm like, man, I feel so bad. Like, it's just like a huge handicap having that.
Well, I wish
now,
I
roll
would've-
racing, it's not as bad, but definitely dig racing and racing out the track, it sucks, man. I feel
Yeah.
bad.
I wish I would have done my homework on the Gen 3s, man. I didn't realize that, you know, how much better the 10R80 was versus the 6R80.
And the 6R80s, I've heard great things about them too.
Oh,
compared
but
to
you
the
got
10R80.
4 more gears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard the 6R80s will hold more power than the 10R80s, and
I've heard that
they're
too,
good
but
trains.
I mean, in the end, I don't see myself having that car for, you know, 160,000 miles, so I'm not really worried about the long term because I'll
Yep.
probably end up selling it.
Yep.
I'm more worried about, you know, shaving off some time.
Once that GT500 comes and you get your butt in it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I might need to trade in for this."
Yeah, maybe, dude. Like, it's a ways away, dude. But hopefully by then they'll be a little more affordable.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, God, it'd be a hard pill to swallow to spend 100K.
Oh
plus.
yeah, they're at least 80 to 100K right now, man. That's the
I
only
can't.
sad part.
I can't do
But
it.
stock, they're fast as hell. Like this was crazy.
It was just a great driving car, man. When like I said, I got to play with it for, I don't know, maybe about 10
Especially when your
minutes.
Jose's is a freaking carbon edition. Like, oh my
it's
god,
so
that's
nice.
well over $100,000 car.
It's a nice car.
Yeah,
And a
that
truck
car's-
that matches.
Yep, that's what he was driving.
Yeah,
We were
truck
doing a
that
photo
matches.
shoot, and video
Yeah.
shoot that day.
Yeah, that
was awesome.
roller that Josh had posted.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And Sarah sent it to me, and she was like, "Check this out." I'm like, "I was driving it." You know what I mean?
Man.
I wish you could have got a video of your face.
Oh, dude, it's a good thing those things were tinted.
You should
because
have stuck the GoPro in there and got your face while you're driving it.
I was ecstatic, man.
Yeah,
like I said, that was
smiling from ear to ear.
well, like I said, that was two good things in a day, man. I drove the Ferrari and then I drove the GT500. That was like
That's a
that was
good
a
day.
good.
That's a good day.
That was a good
Yeah.
day, man.
Heck yeah.
You know, I don't.
I would have been smiling nonstop.
Yeah,
No doubt.
that was fun, man.
Now you got to drive a Chevy.
I already know how I feel on that, man. I've
A really
always
good
loved
day.
Cadillacs. Ever since my dad had his Eldorado, man.
Oh, Eldorado? Front wheel drive. Yeah.
Oh man, it was torquey.
You
man,
smoked the front wheels,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, it was. I didn't know what torque steer was on a front wheel drive car, and I tell you
A lot
what.
of it on those.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah, man.
Hold on, man.
We're in for a steer. Well, this has definitely been fun, buddy. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks again for inviting me. I've had a
Yep.
great time tonight and catching up with you guys, and hopefully I'll see a lot of you all out there.
Yeah,
some of these
2024, I think
events in
is gonna-
2024. Hit us up. Check out these events.
Yep.
Octane TV. It's got a lot of cool stuff coming up too. I know you've been
Yep.
sharing with me, so
We're
I can't
gonna
wait
try.
can't wait to see what all that's going to be.
Yep.
But we're going to have a good time, and you can get me on Crazy Life for Instagram if you want to
Yep.
check out some of the cars that are on there. If you see me out, hit me up. give you a free T-shirt, maybe.
Yeah. That's definitely an incentive. I like free
Right.
T-shirts.
Yeah. Awesome.
And
Thank you again for coming on, buddy.
Definitely got to check out the Meineke stuff too, man.
Yep.
I mean, like I said,
Yep.
I've heard good things, and now that I've heard that you have a location in Franklin.
Yep. Sure do.
Come say hi.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I thought you only had the Plainfield location, so I'm like,
Hey,
yeah, am I driving there?
I've been stopping down there at the nutrition
Yep,
place.
yep,
you
yep.
know.
I've heard that. That's why I actually
Stopped on the way over here.
no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
He likes his
when I
drinks,
heard
too.
I heard you were over there. I'm like, man, he's driving away from Plainfield to here to get a drink. And they're like, now they got a shop there in Franklin.
I got. That was pretty good. I had one tonight. I had them dump the 320 in there. So
Oh man,
wow.
I don't know if I'll go to sleep tonight, man.
Well, thank you again, buddy.
take care.